What if the breakthrough that you've been praying for is actually hiding within the emotions that you refuse to sit with?
Elevate with Monique. Elevating. Elevate with Monique. Elevate.
Welcome back to another episode of Gracefully Elevating with Monique. And this whole entire month, we have been talking about peace beyond your pain. This is our final video talking about peace beyond your pain. But within Elect Elevation and this entire channel, we talk about various things that are linked to sometimes the peace and the pain that we find in our lives from our childhood, from adolescence, from young adult life, right? And we walk through and navigate those. So don't worry, just because we're not talking about the book specifically, know that here we are going to continue to talk about those things that are going to help us to elevate, and not just painful things, right? We talk about feminine energy. We talk about self-love and self-care. I can't wait to get into some of those topics a little bit more in detail. But I believe that the foundation of who we are has to be laid first. And if we've been focused on a shaky foundation, then 9 times out of 10, we might need to do some rebuilding or repairing in the foundation so that we can then build on top of that. And so it is. That is why we've been talking about peace beyond your pain. That is why Peace Beyond Your Pain is an actual book and workbook, because it is truly the roadmap that helped me to navigate when I was looking for peace beyond my painful experiences in my childhood and adolescent life. And so with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about the power of sitting with the hurt. Now, sometimes this can be triggering because depending on what your hurt is, and I do not pretend to group everybody's pain and hurt or trauma into the same category. I know that that is not the case, but in many cases, when we come out of situations or when we come out of a experience that doesn't feel good and that, sometimes causes that pain and that trauma, we try to avoid it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to go places that remind us of it. And while I get the sentiment, I understand that sometimes it can be triggering or it can be painful. The reality is that when we don't sit with that pain, when we don't give it space to breathe and to air out, and we try to ignore it, it becomes louder and louder and louder. And you might say, well, how does it become louder if I'm ignoring it? It shows up in your relationships. It shows up in your mindset. It shows up in the way in which you navigate the world around you. And if you don't sit with it, more than likely, the way that it shows up is actually not the way that you really want to live out your life. So let's talk about what we can do in order to gracefully sit with this pain or sit with the trauma or sit with the things that just may not have felt good. They don't even have to be pain or trauma. It just may not be emotions that you really want to feel. Number one is healing actually requires honesty. We have to be honest with ourselves. Sis, you have to be honest with yourself about where you are. And the reality is that you don't have to be honest with yourself to other people. The one person that you need to be honest with yourself with is you, because we can't even lie to God. You know why? He knows our thoughts. He knows how we feel. He knows the emotions that we are experiencing. So the only person that you're lying to is yourself. You're not even lying to your family and your friends because they can probably see it from the outside looking in. You might be a high achiever. You might be doing well on your job. You might be getting to the bag. But the way in which you move around in the world is going to show you where you actually are emotionally. and you cannot hide from that, right? And so what you have to do is you have to stop living in this performative world, doing things because you want to make other people think that you're happy, doing things because you want other people to feel like you're fulfilled, or you want your life to look a certain way. No, sis, that is performance. When you are truly honest with yourself and you can say, this is where I am. And that's what I had to do. I had to get in the mirror and say, look, Monique, this is where we are. This is who you are. This is what you've allowed in your life. This is how you've been moving. This is you. Okay. And that was a very, very triggering and hard thing to do, but it was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. When you do this, it no longer postpones the peace. It actually frees you because you are honest enough to say, I am in this place. Lord, it's me. Here I am, my wretched self, right? And now you can move to a higher place from there. The second thing is emotions are not our enemies. They are actually messengers. So that anger that you felt or that you might feel even right now, it is an indicator that maybe a boundary has been crossed, maybe something has violated you, and that has caused you to be angry. Now, in another video, I talk about trigger mapping. And why this is such a powerful exercise is because even though that emotion is real and even though it is sitting with you, you want to get to the root of that anger. You want to get to the root of that emotion in order for you to understand what your spirit, what Holy Spirit might be giving back to you. Because remember, our emotions are our messengers. If you are sad about something, if you feel a sense of loss or sense of, void, there's a reason that you feel that way. It's not the enemy that you feel sad or that you feel a void. It is actually a message that you need to tune into. You need to listen to understand. In the last video, I talked about why peace can't live in chaos. And what I would say to this very point is that when your emotions are telling you, especially if they are less advantageous than you want them to be, when they are telling you something, you need to listen to that. If your emotions are saying, I don't feel comfortable around this person or these people, listen to why it is and get curious. Ask the question, why do I feel this way? You might not get the answer immediately, but I guarantee you will get the answer. So just remember that your emotions are not, they are not the enemy. They are messengers for you to lean in. And then number 3 is sitting with your feelings isn't weakness. I know there is so much on social media right now talking about, boss up and put it behind you and keep it moving, be unbothered. There is some truth to that. However, I do believe that there there needs to be this rewriting of the notion that sitting with your feelings or you feeling a certain way brings about a level of weakness. It's actually not weakness at all. It's very powerful for you to be able to acknowledge that you are experiencing this, whatever this emotion is, realize what it's bringing to your life, sit with that emotion, and then make a game plan of how you are going to move beyond that space. There's so much power in that. Do not allow society to make you feel weak because you are taking some time to unpack the things that's been weighing you down, the things that have been holding you back, the emotions that have kept you stuck and in these feedback cycles that you don't want to be in. You don't even want to be in the cycle. And yet you're holding on to the one thing or the two things or the several things that are making you feel this way. That is insane. Why are we doing that? Okay. And then in Peace Beyond Your Pain, I kind of walk you through how to sit. and how to listen, the kind of things that you want to do during your time of listening. It is not idle time. When I go into that prayer closet, I actually have time set aside that I do nothing but sit and I listen. I'm quiet. And I'm really allowing downloads from Holy Spirit to come, whether it was me being corrected about the way that I talk to my child or my children, or a disagreement, or the way that I felt about a particular person or a situation. I'm sitting and I'm listening. And many times I'll even say, God, show me where I was wrong in that. But that's because I've gotten to a place now where I know that my relationship with God is a reciprocal conversation. And so I ask the question, and then I sit and I listen and I wait for Him to tell me whatever it is that I need. But sitting and listening can help bring about a level of peace. It can also help to fortify your confidence, because you're not looking for validation from other people. You're not looking for them to pacify how you're feeling. Sometimes it's nice to have the counsel, the wise counsel of those that we trust. But many times we don't need that to be our first line of defense, if you will. It's the sitting, it's the listening, it's the being uncomfortable in that space with that energy, working through it between you and God, and coming out of that space saying, I don't know if I got the whole revelation. I don't know if I have all the answers yet, but I trust that if I continue to show up and I continue to listen, I continue to sit in stillness and quiet, it will come to me. You also learn how to attune your ear to the voice of Holy Spirit and to your intuition. You can't do that if it's always loud and always chaotic. And so in the book, I teach you how to just sit and listen and wait in anticipation for what comes up for you. Okay. Our emotions do not get to control us. I know for a very long time, my emotions controlled me. If I was happy, then the world around me experienced me in a happy mood. If I was mad or angry or sad or pissed or whatever, my world reflected that. It wasn't until I started to learn that my emotions do not control me. How did I learn that? Because I learned what emotions I was carrying, the root of those emotions. In many cases I had to learn new habits, new thought patterns, new information in order to replace the old information. And little by little, I started to see the progress that was taking place. It was over time. It was not a, overnight experience. But now I cannot do without sitting and being quiet and listening, because things still come up for me. I still sometimes experience hurt. I still sometimes experience grief. And so I can't overwork or move beyond that. I have to sit with it. I have to allow myself to process it, and process it in a way that is not going to leave me in anger, but going to leave me with a solution to either rectify that situation, release it, and turn it over to God, or whatever it is that I need to do in that moment. So, what am I saying? If you do not have your copy of Peace Beyond Your Pain, find the link somewhere in this video. Yes, the support is amazing, and I thank you in advance for it. But more importantly, I am committed to helping you, not just with my words and saying various things that sound good, but giving you practical tips and practical tools, giving you a workbook that you can work through your thoughts and your energy and your feelings, so that by the time you finish reading Peace Beyond Your Pain, you have a completely different perspective around the pain that you experienced, the purpose that it's producing, and how you move into a place of peace beyond it. So find your copy, okay? Now, if you are new to the channel, I want to say thank you so much for spending some time with me today at Gracefully Elevating with Monique. I am passionate about bringing together and holding space for women just like you and I who really desire to experience new levels of personal elevation and sometimes just need the tools and need the container in order to do that. If you are returning, I want to say thank you so much for spending more time with me. I do not take your presence for granted. Come back again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video if it resonated with where you are or resonated with where you've been. If you've experienced anything like this and you want to share, how did you find peace beyond your pain? Go ahead and drop a comment below and let us know. I'm always interested in learning new ways or hearing other people's experiences because I only share my experience because this is what I know, right? But I'm one out of so many people in the world. So I'd love for you to share with us as well some of the things that you may have done, the strategies that you used. And I want to just say thank you for continuing to grow with the channel. I love you so very much, and you will continue to see me in the next video and the next video and the next video. So until then, I'll see you later. Bye.